Okay, let's speak about the bigger picture of the process house itself. As mentioned, analytics heavily depends on the process embedding. You cannot do any kind of analytics cases without implementing or connecting it to the process as executed within the supply chain management organizations. If you look on the bigger picture, plan, purchasing, production, distribution, plan is, you could say, the heart of the enterprise resource planning system. Is in very stringent over all other processes, and you could say it's a starting point to understand the bigger picture. The so-called supply chain matrix, it's a very popular way how to visualize the supply chain planning processes. And every kind of process and every kind of decision we take in the supply chain comes with different layers. So there are strategic long-term decisions, so decisions which are lasting over years, tactical mid-term decisions, typically around months to 2 years or 1 year, depending on the industry type, and operational short-term decisions and execution processes, which have an immediate effect. If you look from right to left, everything starts with the demand planning process. The demand planning process is where all the customer demands and the forecasts are embedded. That means this is the input of everything. So this is also the case that especially forecasting is done for every analytics department. Every supply chain department will start with forecasting topics, and this is are embedded in the planning process. We go to the top, the supply network planning. The supply network planning has a goal to strategize, you could say, all the resources and to allocate all resources and the materials across the entire supply chain. Remember that the entire supply chain is very, very wide, and we speak about all process, balance it out. If you go one step further towards a master planning, so that's the next layer. It's more to align the business plans, what we really would like to achieve for the next maybe 2 years, with our production capabilities. Because it's really challenging really to promise that you deliver something within the next 9 months if you don't know the production capabilities. And then it's distributing down to the purchasing, production, and distribution part. For the purchasing part, it's all about the materials requirements plan towards our suppliers. So it's really, we have to ensure that the material is available according to our production needs, and the supplier has to deliver it. So it's really important for the supplier and for our purchasing departments. The production planning itself is also decomposed in 2 layers. So first you start with the so-called production planning to schedule and control the manufacturing processes. And this is often called unconstrained. That means you really look when to produce which without any constraints on true capacity and timing. And then if you go one layer down, you're going to so-called detailed scheduling. There you allocate specific time frames and resources to your production activities. This is within the production part. For the distribution part, the same split of first high level understanding where do we distribute and how to transport our goods and to which location. And then the transport scheduling is very close to the operational level where you optimize even the routing and the scheduling. So it means the timing of your transport vehicles. The available to promise is the overarching delivery layer. You could say really normally have a contact point to transport, to detailed scheduling and materials. Even it's really looking, can we really deliver the requested quantity towards our customer? It's really about communicating the delivery capabilities, communicating the delivery date to our customer, and confirming that things are reserved for you precisely. This supply chain matrix is absolutely mandatory to understand that the systems, and especially the ERP systems in the background, or the planning systems, the enterprise planning systems in the background, are really organized in a hierarchical way. And this is also true for the bigger sales and operation planning processes. The linked to the execution itself. You can see here that we have to order the materials to the purchasing, to our suppliers. We have to assemble the products. This is then towards the shop floor coordination or shop floor control. For the transport, we have to operate the schedules, and for the available to promise, it's going towards the sales order management system. If we go to the make processes, so we are going down now from the planning processes to the make processes, to the make matrix. Also here, I selected some of the core processes. I tailored it a little bit more towards analytics related or reporting related core processes. We have the support processes where we optimize and monitor our production processes, and we maintain our production records. And typically in production processes, we have to trace everything what we are doing. If we speak about tracing, of course, it's already really heavily influencing our data lineage, or so the data usage overall. So the scheduling production part, it's all about the detailed production scheduling. We will have a special session on this one. And then we go into the schedule line plan and schedule maintenance. So we have to repair something and so on. And on top, we have higher level processes and higher level possibilities, also looking into the years. It's the same like the strategic and operational part of the planning metrics. So you have the capabilities to model and simulate your plan. So assemble product is really, here's really you do this, you really execute your production, and you have supporting processes from assess the production performance towards report maintenance issues. So if maybe your machines breaks down. And here you can see already the link to predictive maintenance cases, which we will have later. So quality testing, in these days you have to deliver highest quality. So independent of the industry, you want to have good quality in time towards your customer. And sometimes you have a problem, then you perform root cause analysis, and you have to track maybe non-conformities or anomalies and perform the record of your production for the quality procedure. The source layers are also, if you can see here, we are again hierarchical. So we have the procure materials and services, and then we have different topics. We have sometimes here the terminology of sourcing and then procurement. Sourcing is more the act of which supplier do we really source the material. So procurement is more acting how to really release a order. How's the process of releasing the orders towards our suppliers? So we have here selecting supplier, and it's about, okay, which supplier and how to manage the contracts. That's a totally different part. Then once we selected them, we have to manage supplier. So we have to monitor the product quality. We have to analyze the performance of the vendors, and also manage all kind of supplier information, which is a hard topic for master data management, and of course around inventory. And support also the inventory and production process for your suppliers. Later more on this. So if we order the material, so that's really now the procurement part. So we create a purchase order to our suppliers. We receive. So we reconcile the purchase order, and we process all kind of things. And all kind of order handling towards the suppliers, you could say, are the brother of order handling towards our customers. So sourcing governance is we have to match our supply capabilities, and we have to organize and we seek for opportunities for better, for improvement, and we have to analyze our own organization spend profile. Do we really procure from the correct suppliers the correct materials? And this is also a selected list of the SCOR model. Everywhere you need reporting capabilities. For the logistics and warehousing, here it's called logistics warehousing. We said it's really the delivery part. Here it's more focusing on the true holding it in the warehouse and putting it into the logistics. We have the logistic governance, so the how to design your logistic network, how to operate the transport schedules, and how to monitor it. For the inbound means you are coming into your warehouses from maybe the supplier, and then you have to monitor it, you have to unpack it, you have to look on maybe the repairs, which were with the returns. You have to enlist it, the materials, and you have to check the performance. Then you have the warehouse per se, where you store everything. You have so-called pick, pack, ship production, so how to pack it together. You can imagine it from Amazon, how to pick and pack all things together before it's going towards the customer. You have to track the product availability and the inventories, because nothing more, everything has to be on the correct location, the correct time. For the outbound, that's more or less from the warehousing towards your customer. You have the carrier, or the carrier who really transports the things to your customer. You have to monitor the performance, and you have to track it and manage the entire fleet. And of course, you always look for efficiencies. Why this different product processes? Because if you look on all, why these different processes? I think it's important to have really the big picture in scope, and now you can see the big picture of this lecture, because to many of this process we have either one-to-one mapping of use cases, so I indicated here with a color code, or you have analytics cases. This is very often, which is spanning multiple capabilities, or multiple process capabilities. Or you have use cases which are spanning multiple processes. Or you have analytics use case who is spanning multiple use cases. On this picture, you can see the supply chain. You can see the core processes or the capabilities to manage this. And on the left and right, the analytics cases which are selected for this lecture. So this is a really high level overview. Of course, with this really fast walkthrough of the processes, you cannot understand all of this process, that's clear. For every process, I put a short description on top to it. For me, it's important not to understand every detail in I think it's not important to understand every detail, but you have to understand that everything is connected, and that many cases, especially for the data insights and reports, really depends on the full data transparency on many different flavors and the different processes. Only then you can really reach full analytics capabilities. Only then you can really harvest the full value of the analytics capabilities.